It's a Sebon Podcast Show. It's a Sebon Podcast Show. Everybody's welcome. Peace and love. It's a Sebon Podcast Show.
Bam, we're live. Wonder if that's me saying that. I always wonder that. I can't even recognize my own voice. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. What a Dave Castro weekend review yesterday. I got a very thoughtful comment after Björgvin Carl Gudmundsson comes on. I will address it. I got one really thoughtful comment from yesterday's show that I'd like to address. And then one very unthoughtful. Very unthoughtful. What's up, Sevi? How's the squirrel? Soaking in a yogurt and oil, cilantro, and spices marinade. And then we'll see when I come back in 2 weeks. Me and the boys will chomp it down. Is that you and Dave? Look how tall Dave looks next to you. My goodness. BKG's coming on today. I'm always so proud that I learned his name. And it's a fun one to say, right? Björgvin Carl Gudmundsson. Morning, Sevon. What's up with the black spot on your shirt? I'm not sure which black spot you're talking about. What's up, dude?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, your favorite activity.
What? What's my favorite activity?
Yeah, no, I said your favorite activity, coming on podcast and hanging out.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no worries. I actually woke up 2.5 hours ago because I thought it was 7 a.m. my time, but I'm still a little time confused, and I didn't have to wake up 6:30.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, I want to let you know that I do that all the time, and usually it happens with Australians.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine.
Hey, 11 years, and I finally got your phone number.
Oh, who gave it to you?
Are they in trouble?
Yeah, I think it's not. He's in trouble then.
I was like, yes.
Oh, you can keep it. You can keep it.
I don't have to throw it away?
No, you don't have to. I'll just change my phone number next month.
Oh, dude. Good to see
what's
you.
up?
Good to see a staple. A staple at the CrossFit Games.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while now, right? I mean, 11th year. It doesn't feel like 11.
It doesn't?
No, it's because I think that the years in Madison, they all kind of just like crumble into that almost 1 year. And then it's almost like this is my third year because I was in LA, I was in Madison, and now I'm in Dallas. So this is my third games.
Yeah. Hey, I don't like switching. Do you like switching?
I think it's okay, but I think we have kind of maxed out everything that we can do in Madison.
Yeah.
So maybe it was about time to, explore new locations and see what they have in store for us here. I think there's hopefully something new. I mean, just like keeping it fresh a little bit, but I'm not sure about this heat though.
Yeah, I guess for you, it's like you're the performer, so it's probably nice going to new venues. For me, I like to know, like, okay, that's the best spot to stand to get that shot. I know the athletes have to walk by me here. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
selfishly, I don't like the change. I like it just like, okay, because the venues are confusing.
Oh,
I
they
mean,
are.
for me,
Oh yeah.
the tunnels
even
and
for
the
me, I was like,
doors and the
yeah. I was always discovering new rooms and different paths to the venue and even Madison on my last year. So yeah, I mean it's huge. Like the facilities that they have usually for the games are just big, and yeah, I think we'll see how it goes this year. I'm expecting it to be like big, and I'm not sure how big the Dickies Arena is. Like, do you know the capacity? Like, how many people can be there?
I want to say 12,000, but I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just making it up. And I think it's going to be beautiful and
Yeah.
epically clean. I think it's going to be state of the art. You know where else looks nice? Hey, did your mom call you Björgvin?
Yeah.
So like if she was like, Björgvin, your car's blocking my car and I have to be somewhere in 10 minutes. Can you move it, Björgvin?
Exactly.
Okay. Björgvin, the Scotland also looks amazing. The pictures of where Rogue's
Oh,
doing their venue looks like
for Rogue
unbelievable.
Invitational, you mean?
Yeah, for the Rogue Invitational looks unbelievable.
Yeah, that is super exciting. That's also very close to Iceland. I know that a lot of people are really excited.
Oh, I guess it is close to Iceland. Yeah,
It's
you
about a
just kind of
90-minute flight.
no
90
shit.
minute,
I
2 hour
didn't know
flight.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's super close.
Are you if you don't qualify through the games, will you try to do the online qualifier?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I want to participate there, and I think that a lot of Icelandic audience will come out and watch. Nevertheless, like if I'm there or not, I just think that we have such a like big fan base out of Iceland, and I think that a lot of people see this as an opportunity to see, you know, games athletes compete at the Rogue Invitationals and the best in the world. So, because it's quite like it's hard for people sometimes to come out to the US, like especially to Dallas. I mean, it's just so far away from home,
Right.
and it's like it's an
And you guys
expensive.
could melt, and they could melt.
Yeah, and we can melt. Yeah, definitely.
Mike McCaskey, Dickies is 14,000 in the concert configuration. So I guess if they have music playing there, and Summer Vine says 9,000,
Okay.
maybe for the. But I have a feeling it's going to be very reminiscent of the tennis stadium. I believe it's going to be very loud, very intense,
Okay.
with a ton of good seats. I think it's going to be a really intense environment for the athletes, like in a positive way.
Yeah. What was the capacity in the Coliseum in
Uh,
Medj?
I don't know. I wanna say less. I wanna say like 8,000, but
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong. I'm just
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
stuff up. Um, hey, I was thinking about this the other day about are you still coached by Yami?
Yeah.
Yami?
He's here. Like I'm currently in an Airbnb with Yami and Henrik and his girlfriend.
Henrik Kapelainen
Yeah.
in Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh, you're there. Okay. How long have you been there?
Since Saturday.
Um, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about in the go way, way back.
Hmm.
Maybe even maybe before you even went to the games. I was remembering. I think that Yame was coaching Annie,
Yeah.
and she also had Carl,
Yeah.
and she had Frederick as on the team too. So that was her team.
Yes.
And I remember I don't remember who or what, but Carl was gonna coach someone else, and I remember Annie being like, "Hey, I'd like my coaches to be, I would like to singularly work with my coaches." And
Okay.
I think she was pretty honest about that, and I could be paraphrasing, but I really respected that. I
Hmm.
respected the fact that she just wanted one coach for her.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um, is Yame just your coach on the men's side?
No.
No, who else does he coach? And how do you guys do that? Because you guys are
So
pretty old school.
yeah, I would say so. In the beginning, it's always been like me and Annie and Frederick, right?
Right. So
Uh,
one boy and one girl, which seems to be a winning combination.
yeah, pretty much. But as the years go on, I mean, Henrik came along. He was following the training plan, and then he made it to the games. And I'm not sure when they started working together, like one on one. I'm guessing it's around the time that he made it to the games. So for a few years now, it's been me and Henrik, and then also Jonne Koski. He joined the team like about 2 years ago. So it is me, Henrik, and Jonne at this point. Annie is obviously coached by Yami still, but she had her second baby, so she's still kind of coming back. So let's say if everything goes by plan, or let's say that Annie wants to come back next year, then it's probably going to be the four of us, like me, Henrik, Jonne, and Annie.
And do you have an issue with sharing Yami?
No.
And as the years go on, I'm guessing maybe the term is leverage. Every year that goes on, maybe you need less coaching, and so
Mhm.
and so you feel maybe more comfortable sharing the coach because you can build up on top of what you guys already have. You're communicating faster, you're more advanced, et cetera, et
Mhm.
cetera.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I've also been like a little bit independent myself, like from the get go. I mean, Yami now lives in Iceland, but he didn't used to live in Iceland. Like he lived in London. So like I've always like throughout my career had to kind of take care of myself because he might not be there like every day, but he is actually now. So even though he lives in Iceland now, I don't feel that he is obligated to just like coach me and not coach anybody else. And yeah, like it's true. Like we've been working together for such a long time that he knows what I'm capable of taking care of myself, and then what I need him for, basically.
And Yame's program is called the Training Plan.
Yeah, the
Does
training
he
plan.
does he have other people who work at the training plan, or is it just him?
There are people that help, uh, but he's a perfectionist and he likes to do things by himself because I guess he just trusts himself the best. And I don't think I'm lying, but I think he does most of the stuff by himself, or he might direct another person like on how to do things, but I think he has the final words on how everything should look like.
And he's second to none, right? He's kind of out of this world. Like you couldn't ask for a coach who's more committed.
Yeah, I guess you've probably heard it from other people, right? I mean, he was coaching Khan, and like he is coaching Khan Porter as well, and he has been with the team, right, when Annie went team, and like he kind of took over. And I think the people on the team then realized, like, okay, like this guy knows exactly what he's talking about, and I think he has already like earned his respect from all the coaches and other athletes, and I think they like at this point respect what he's doing and understand that he is not talking any nonsense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I view him. There was this term that Dave coined. I don't know if you heard it, but he coined this term "pop seal." When he referenced Navy SEALs who like start like writing books or going on all the podcasts, and he
Right.
started calling them pop SEALs. Yami is not a pop coach.
No.
He's like if you open his drawer, there's a whistle and pair of gray sweats and a stopwatch,
Yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
and that's it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just coach.
He has. Oh, 100%. And like he's always trying to figure out new things, right? Trying to implement. He reads a lot about like the newest technologies, and we follow all the sports and what they're doing, and we try to implement it into CrossFit. Some of it might work, some of it doesn't. And whatever works, we keep in there, and then if something isn't working, we just skip it basically. So I'm really like I would say, and that's also probably the reason why I'm still maybe performing at this level is because like he keeps me occupied, like he keeps me on my toes, um, by trying to find new things that like keep me in the game. Basically, I mean, I'm obviously not getting any younger, but at the same time, I'm not that old. I've just been doing it for a long time, and I started pretty early. So
How old are you?
I'm 31.
31. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're not that old.
no. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, when you started in CrossFit, there would
Mhm.
be this discussion. It's probably towards the tail end of this discussion, but there had been a discussion going on since 2008. Oh, if someone came from the NFL, the National Football League,
Mhm.
could enter the CrossFit Games and win. Or if someone came from one of these other sports, a decathlete came from the Olympics, they could win. And I
Mhm.
want to say around 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, that conversation was put to sleep. Like that became just ridiculous talk. But yesterday I was talking to someone who's not familiar with CrossFit,
Mhm.
and they're a fan of the show Kill Taylor that we do on Saturdays, where Taylor does a workout and then
Yep.
people try to beat it. And he said, "Oh, it would be cool if other athletes from other disciplines saw it, so they could just come on and win the money." And I was thinking to myself, man, I guess outsiders still think that there's a chance that
Yeah.
they could do that. Like, they don't realize, like, hey, you are not gonna do 100 burpees and swim in a pool full speed. You're not and, back and forth, whatever he did, the week he did the swim, he did, I think he did, 50 yards 3 times and
Yeah.
92 burpees, and he did it, and the winning time was like 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay. Who was
And
it? Was
it
it
was
was it
it
Taylor?
it was a Taylor did it in 5:40, and then some guy from the Navy who's also a CrossFitter beat
Right.
him and did it in 5:20.
Okay. Okay.
And I
But
wanna be like, "Hey, no one from the NFL can even do fucking 92 burpees in that time."
no, exactly. No, I
I'm
agree
like,
with
"Are
you.
you out of your fucking mind?"
Yeah.
I don't
No.
say that to them, but I'm like, "Wow, people still don't realize
No.
what the games are."
No. It's kind of like you have to be doing CrossFit, I think, for a while to understand that. Okay, like I don't think any other athlete in any other sport is gonna like beat our score, especially when you have a guy like Taylor, like pretty like very fit guy, and like has the potential to make it to the games. Then bringing on an NFL or like a soccer player or whatever is not gonna he's not gonna beat the score. But depending a little bit on what the workout is, like let's say the swim was much longer and the
Right,
burpees would have been way less, then yeah,
right,
a swimmer could have won him or beat
right.
him. But yeah, no, it's I don't know, it's like an old myth, and I try not to pay too much attention to
Do you hear
that.
it still too sometimes? Do you still hear it? Like, and I
Not
'cause I live in
really.
a bubble and I never hear it, so when I heard it, I was shocked.
Yeah, not really. I think the last, if I recall anything, it might have been in like 2019 when Hunter McIntyre was
Oh,
invited
right.
to compete at the games. I mean, he's fit. He practically does CrossFit, right? I mean, it's high rocks, and it's close enough. At least it's closer than NFL. But he got cut, right? Like pretty early on.
I don't think it's a mistake also to say High Rocks is just one CrossFit workout. I think that's a very fair characterization of High Rocks.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it's it's movements. I don't want to say it's CrossFit
It's a
movements.
hero WOD.
What's that?
The High Rocks.
Yeah, yeah, it's a hero what? Yeah,
Yeah, it's a hero WOD.
yeah, yeah. It's a big one. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of running, and the times that those guys are though finishing the High Rocks World Championships, it's insane to me. I think that it's not just about the run. I think also the other implements like the rowing pace and the ski pace, and how fast they can do 80 meters of burpees. It's insane. Um, I'll probably never do high rocks though. I think yeah, I've suffered enough for a long time that when I retire, I'm probably just going to do something that's a little less painful.
Do you have a plan of what to do next?
No, not really. Like, but I'm growing interest in like endurance sports. Not like ultra marathon stuff, but more like those maybe Olympic distance, swimming, biking, running, something like that. Like I might start there and then see if that suits me. And but I'll always be lifting, and I think keeping the Olympics lifts in there and strength, and I'll do CrossFit basically, but I might turn myself into a little bit more of an endurance athlete and try to do some competitions maybe in Iceland, and then we'll see what happens basically.
Another interesting thing about High Rocks is that completion of the task seems to be more relevant than range of motion. So by that I mean like and their wall balls are the classic example, right? So
Yeah,
their idea of the wall ball is I mean clearly they don't squat below parallel, and if they don't, that's fine, that's up to them.
yeah.
But we have different, it's a different standard than CrossFit. Have you ever seen that in High Rocks when they do the wall balls?
I actually haven't. What I don't.
You'll never
Do you,
see
do, you,
someone
do you
squat
also
below
think on do you
parallel.
also think on the world championship level that they don't go below parallel, or is it mostly just like in the like general competitions that are not that are for like the average Joe? Like, is there a difference between the average Joe that does high rocks and then the world championship?
Oh, Heidi's saying, you're wrong, Savon. They require squat below parallel. It's the lack of judging quality. Okay, because even the best guys in the world, I don't see them squatting below parallel. So I just thought that it's kind of like burpees. Like for me, in in an event,
Mm-hmm.
a burpee is just touch your chest to the ground and
Mm-hmm.
jump. Like, I'm not even worried about, hip opening. You know what I mean? Just like bar over the burpees. I think like if you're teaching it in a class, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's fair to do, set whatever rule you want. Jump up and touch something.
Yeah.
Make sure you stand all the way up. But in a race, I think as long as your chest hits the ground and you
Mhm.
lower your center of mass to the lowest point, and then you come up and clap, I
Mhm.
think then the rest is just athleticism for turnover speed. That's how I think of it.
Okay. The normal burpees, you mean? This is you're not talking about over a barbell or over a
Yeah,
box or
or
anything
bar
like
or anything. Like if 2 guys are gonna race and do burpees as fast as they can, and you're gonna judge it, I would take everything out except just touch your chest to the ground
that.
and then
Mhm.
clap over your hands and get your
Right.
feet off the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah,
Even
yeah.
if you're like this or bent or I don't even care.
Okay.
At that point, I just think that that's
All right.
and then if you wanna fix that in a race, you should have them have to jump and touch something over their head.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
other than that, you shouldn't be talking about did you open your hip or any
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that shit because it's like take all the subjective shit out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's just like when you guys do over the bar. That's just for me, that introduces a huge part of athleticism
Yeah.
because no one's opening their hip. They're doing some sort of frog maneuver, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And it's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Um, you made this pretty wild post when you qualified this year.
Yeah.
Uh, oh man, this time it just felt so sweet. In
Mhm.
the beginning of this season, I lost a friend due to cancer. I lost a childhood friend that grew up in the same town as me. Is that the same guy? You're referencing the same gentleman?
Yeah.
This 11th trip to the games is dedicated to him because I will never forget the impact he had on me and people around him.
Mhm.
Um, wow, that's pretty intense. How old was he?
He was 34.
And what kind of cancer did he have?
Uh,
Do you remember?
yeah, but I just can't find the right words in English.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. And do you know what happened to him? Do you know how he got it? Do you know what the
Not re-
just a freak, just a freak?
yeah, pretty much. Like nothing. It was like I can't really state if he got it from something. I don't think anybody can at this point. But once it got discovered, it was already on like the fourth stage. Um, and it just wasn't looking very good from the get go. Um, but he talked about it very openly, and yeah, like a lot of people followed him and like saw how he took it, and I think that's very admirable, like how he took it and how he battled it, and how he just showed us like this heroic effort of trying to beat it, and I think everybody can respect that. Um, and it's just like it's a slap in the face for like obviously him and his family, but also for like friends and like when I when he told me about it, for an example, or when he like told people about it, it was just such a shock, I guess. And it's just like it's hard. It seems just so unfair to be 34 years old and dying from your family. Basically, he had 2 kids and a
Oh,
wife, and they just built a house in Reykjavik, and yeah, it was just unbelievable. And this, like I knew about it maybe 2 years ago, and then starting of the Open, I think it was workout 2 or 3. That's really when things started to like really not look good for him. And I think for me, like throughout the maybe the last workout in the Open and then the quarters and the semis, like it was a pretty rough time. Like I don't want to say it was a rough time for me because I can't imagine how it was for the family, but at the same time, yeah, like I was feeling it a lot actually, and yeah, it was just I thought it was just a nice, I don't want maybe appreciation or whatever, like just to like dedicate my 11th appearance to the CrossFit Games to him because he was a very good guy, and we had a great time together, and I think we were both pretty hyperactive as boys, and we spent a lot of time like we come from this very small town in Iceland of where the population is 500 people, and we kind of had to be super creative and finding something to do. So we did a lot of like we did I don't know, we did snowboarding and skateboarding and fishing and whatever it was, because in that town there wasn't much to do, so people or kids just went outside and found something to do. And yeah, I'm just very thankful that I got the opportunity to know him, and yeah, may he rest in peace.
So what's your earliest memory of him? You knew him as a child.
Oh yeah, yeah. Since we were like little, like he was a little bit older than me, obviously, and he probably didn't start hanging like around me. Well, he kind of did. Like I was very young when he took me to, um, basically like he would find me and boys that were up to doing whatever at all times, and he could definitely see it in me that I was ready to do whatever he wanted to do, and then he basically picked me out of few other guys, and we would do pretty crazy shit. And my mom wasn't always happy about it, but she forgave him every time, and our friendship just evolved from there.
When you say you lived in a town of 500, meaning you could just ride your bike to his house
Yeah,
or run over there?
yeah, and pretty much everyone in the town knew each other. Like you would know everybody by their names, and even if like we didn't have phones obviously at the time, but you know parents just didn't really think about where we were, because we were always going to come back in the end, because it's such a small town, and they could basically just call whoever. If my mom wasn't finding me in the evening or something, like she would just call my friend's house and ask if they knew where I was, and they had probably seen me in the last 30 minutes or so, and it was pretty easy for us to for them to just not stress about where we were all the time. uh, and I think that's also good. I mean, this might not be the reality today, but yeah, I was pretty lucky with childhood, I would say, and friends, and especially him.
And when you say you get in trouble, you did all the stuff that boys did, threw snowballs at passing cars, did pranks, just all the stuff that young boys do.
Yeah,
Catch
that's right.
animals, set traps, all that stuff.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
And then one day he just calls you and he says, "Bjorgvin, I have cancer."
Yeah, he actually posted on Facebook. Um, it was during the Christmas 21. I actually had, or 22, sorry. I actually had my 30th birthday party. I mean, I held it after the games, so I held it in like October, and that was about the time that he was about to find out he didn't make it. He thought that he was just sick, and he didn't come to the birthday party. No problems, but then from that kind of sickness, I think that was about the time that they realized that he had the cancer.
And did he know right away that it was going to be fatal?
I think the doctors told him that it was not treatable.
Mm.
They would do treatments, but it was already at the fourth stage. I don't know if you say that
Yeah.
in English, but yeah,
Yeah.
but that basically means or meant that the chances of recovery were pretty slim.
Mm.
So yeah.
And for you, I'm guessing it's some sort of crazy wake up call. Like it's like you're so young, and then one of your friends pass away,
Mhm.
and then it's like a check to your own mortality.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
You're like, "What the fuck? That can't happen."
no, exactly. And you also start thinking about like, what are you stressing about? Like, how on earth can you be stressed about, the first event at the games? Like, who fucking cares? Like, I'll do as best as I can, and I'll get the butterflies in my stomach. But it's like, I've also been at the point, so, some years at the games where it's like, oh, fuck, like, if I don't finish this, like, in a good placement or whatever, like, my life is over, kind of, thinking. And I think that's so, like, childish. And
Right.
by having some of your close friends go away like this, it just makes you reevaluate life and, you know, decisions and not stressing too much about what's happening. Like, I of course care a lot about my career and everything, but it's not the end of the world. I might as well just try to enjoy it while I'm able to do it for the 11th time in a row, man. It's just, yeah, nothing is gonna happen. Like, I'll just go home in 3 weeks and yeah, I just want to be proud of what I'm doing and not stress about it too much. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I guess the context is, no matter what happens, you get to go home and hug your mom.
Right.
And what happens to him is his mom and his mom will never hug again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
Wild, wild, wild. And I also think it's smart that I think a lot of people would run away from that feeling.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably best. It sounds like you're leaning into it, like you want to have the experience, and you're not afraid of like the discomfort of it.
No, not at this point, at least. I mean, it's only me and Cole that have made it now to 11th games in a row, and I mean,
He did his in a row too. His are 11 in a row too.
Isn't it? I think so.
Maybe you're right. I have no idea.
And then it was him 2 weeks later. Yeah,
Crazy.
that is pretty crazy. I thought that Cole had retired.
I thought, well, what happened was, I think there was some confusion, right? Because I think Ben Bergeron handed over the reins to Cole, and Cole had not implied, but I think that a lot of us just assumed that he, as a head coach, he wouldn't still pursue the games. I think there was like some blurry area.
Exactly. Yeah, that might have been it for sure. Yeah.
Hey, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
No. All good.
Is your training significantly different? Is there a year that you train more than every other year? That, like, as they say in the States, you had your dick in the dirt?
I would say the first few years, around maybe 2014, 15, 16, I just think that I was pretty immature at the point, and I might have just like gone a little bit too much like all in everything we did. Like, let's say we lifted, then I just maxed out. You know what I mean? It's like I wasn't taking care of like, maybe today I should just hit those like 85% of what I should hit and then call it a day. But it was always like, the pan was hot, so I did the cooking in every single fucking session. And that ended up leading to like maybe a little bit of like nagging injuries. Like, I had like a pretty sore knee for a while and like a hip, and but then once I got more experienced, I think I've just realized that maybe I should stick to the program and not worry too much about the lifts that I'm hitting right exactly at this point, but rather try to keep it consistent and trusting the process and making sure that I'm peaking when I should be peaking, which is at the games or that games weekend, and trusting that I can hit those numbers. But I think that's normal though, to just like be a little bit too excited and like horny a little.
Yeah. Horny.
So
I don't know if I've ever heard that word on the show. We've said a lot of crazy things on this show. I don't know if I've heard the word horny. I like that.
Right. Exactly. But I think I can handle at this point way more volume than I did when I was 20.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
I just think that I move much better at this time, and I don't. Yeah, and efficiency is just better now than it used to be, and which comes in handy because then you can do more reps, right? It's just makes sense.
Caller, hi.
Yeah.
What is up?
Hi. Do you have something for Bjorkman Carl Gudmundsson?
I do, yes. I want to say BKG. The fact that you've been doing this for this long, placing this high for this many years, you're a freaking. If CrossFit had a Hall of Fame, you would be a pillar. You're such a stud. My question for you is, when you are in a dark place, specifically like, you're in an event where you're right there at the front, what are you telling yourself to push yourself ahead of the competitors? Like, what is that self-talk when maybe someone's just getting slightly ahead of you and if I push, I could get them. But there's also that kind of that doubt too.
Yeah.
How dare you ask a better question than anything I've asked him today? How dare you?
Yeah, this is a great question. But first of all, thank you so much. I appreciate it that you think that I am a Hall of Famer. Thank you so much. But being in that situation, especially at the games floor, um, it's pretty easy to push yourself because, like, I do most of my training alone. I would say probably like 90%. 90% of my trainings are alone. So, like, being in, let's say, the Coliseum, and like someone is getting close, you can just hear the noise from the audience, and it's pretty easy for me at that time to just take it all in and use that as a fuel.
Mm.
I would say it's a lot harder to push yourself to those limits in training. But once I'm out there and on the competition floor, I don't think it has ever like crossed my mind to even try to slow down, or like it's pretty easy to just keep going when you're on the floor. Like it is so electric, like I can't really describe it, but pushing yourself at the games is not a problem.
Wow.
Okay, let me ask you another question then.
Yeah.
What when you were up against Fraser and he's
Mhm.
just dominating,
Yeah.
would that just piss you off? Like, what can this guy suck at one event? Was that frustrating? You just want to beat him, and the
Mhm.
guy's just completely polished in every area, and there's no holes. Like, what are you telling yourself to beat someone like that?
So the closest I got to, being alongside Fraser, or like seeing like his heels a little bit, was in 2019, especially when we only had 10 people left, which was almost the whole Saturday and the Sunday. Um, I just told myself to try to stay as close as I could. I honestly, on some of those years that we competed against him, almost every one of us knew that we were all competing for the second place. He was just that good. I would maybe use it to try to stay close to him, to be in front of other people. Um, and I just respect him highly for like being that good. But to be fair, like I did I didn't stand a chance all of those years. He
All right,
is
I
he
appreciate
was a different animal.
All right, you rock, man. I appreciate it.
Thank,
Thank you so much.
thank you
guys.
so
Thank
much
you.
for the questions. Thanks.
Bjorgvin, you know what's interesting looking at you? You don't look like you're not losing your hair. You're not aging. You look younger. Yeah, look at that. It's a bush up there. It's a carpet.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
you look about as healthy as someone could possibly look, pushing their body that hard for 11 years.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate it. That um I'm just I'm a baby face, right? Like I don't have beard. Like I might have like
Oh,
here
you don't grow
and
hair.
there.
Oh, you don't grow hair on that face, really.
Not really. Like if I
Mm.
try, like you would probably tell me to shave it.
It's just patches.
Yeah, just like patches, and I've actually met people that are maybe like in their early 20s, and they don't maybe know how old I am, and then I tell them that I'm 31, and they're all like, a lot of them are shocked, and they
Yeah.
would guess like 25, 26,
Yeah.
something like that.
Someone in here says, "Man, he looks like he's 26."
Right, exactly. So I want to keep that up for as long as I can. And that's due to CrossFit, right? I mean, I'm just staying fit, staying healthy, eating the right foods, sleeping well, um, living in Iceland, best country in the world. Probably shouldn't say it here, but
No, it's fine.
I
It's
I
fine.
think it is.
11. What's the in the 11 years? What's the most you've ever weighed? Have you ever gotten fat in your in the off season?
No, not
No,
really. I've
no.
weighed.
You ever
I've
gone up to like
weighed.
240 or anything crazy like that?
No,
No.
200 is the heaviest I've been. That's like 90 kilos.
Yeah. And what's the lightest you've been in the 11 years?
Oof, that's like pretty early on, 2014, 2015, something like that. I was probably like 182.
So you're always in fighting shape. You're ready
Yeah.
to go all year.
I stay like pretty lean, I would say. It's just because like we trained just so much, and I don't really have like, I have a good appetite, but I don't really like, I never really lose myself, or like I don't go overboard. I think and I always just do CrossFit. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I come home from the games and the next 3 months are lifting, and I don't do any CrossFit or anything like that. And I'm also just like super hyper outside of the gym as well. So like even if like we're easing off the CrossFit a little bit, let's say in the beginning of the off season or something, I just do something else. Like I go skiing, snowboarding, biking. It's just like I try to use the time that I have outside of the gym and when I can to do other activities. And I think other activities are great. It's like it's so nice to have another hobby that's active outside of CrossFit.
I
That
saw
probably
this.
keeps me in shape.
I saw this. Is this a snowmobile? I saw this toe spacers thing that you put together, and in the background, I was looking at that Polaris. Is that a snowmobile?
Yeah, yeah.
And so where you live, you can just ride that right out of your garage?
Yes. Couple of times a year I can do that, but otherwise you'll just have to drive for maybe 20, 30 minutes and then you're into a pretty good snow.
And you like that? Snowmobiling's fun for you? It's good.
This is the most fun piece of machine you can get onto.
Yeah.
That's insane. But you can also kill yourself pretty easily.
Yeah, it looks like that thing's powerful as all get out. It looks like a rocket ship. even
Yeah,
from-
it is.
Hey, is that a thumb thing you push for the power? You push your thumb in, or
Yeah.
is it it's a thumb?
There are no gears, it's just a thumb.
A
Yeah.
thumb. Your
Yeah.
hand ever get tired?
Yeah, it can get sometimes, like depending if you're like sweating some steep hills and you have to be on and off all the time. But I would say like it's nothing close to riding a dirt bike on a track or anything. That's pretty that's a forearm pump for sure.
The little bit of snowmobiling I've done, I was shocked at how exhausted my thumb got.
Right.
I was like, this is crazy. I actually had to take some breaks.
Yeah.
I'm no Bjorgvin Carl Goodmanson, but I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah. Have you actually gone?
Snowmobiling, yeah, a handful of times. Yeah, I loved
Okay,
it.
awesome.
It's crazy. I mean, I never even got to the point to where I could like fully enjoy it because the machine was so crazy, so scary, so powerful. I mean, it was so.
Exactly.
I mean, I just cruised around. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
I just cruised. I mean, it was fun. It was a blast.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't like the people I was with were going places, and I would just stay and watch them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can get like it's basically not what the snowmobile is capable of. It's just like how big of a heart do you have? Like how big
rider.
balls do you got? Yeah. You can ride this thing like wherever you want to, as long as there's snow.
Are there places in Iceland where people use that like to go to like you would go to the store with that and get your groceries?
It was actually not this winter, but the winter before. It snowed so heavily one night that I had to get to the gym and I took the snowmobile.
Oh, you must have loved that.
Yeah, I loved that. And the cars were stuck in the driveway, so I had to take the snowmobile out to train.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And now there's no snow where you're at.
No, you mean here in Dallas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Does it snow here?
I want to say like no, not really. I want to say like I've heard stories of like some snow falling at the airport, but
Yeah.
but I don't even think it sticks to the ground or anything.
No, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, at least not now.
How bad is it? How hot is it for people who aren't there yet?
It was like 105 yesterday. Yeah, and like I was saying, like there's just no way you can get used to it. Like nobody performs in this heat, and that's the reason why they have the first event at 7 a.m. in the morning, and the track event is going to be like 8 p.m. or something Friday night.
Have you gone in the water yet at the swimming location?
Yep.
And is it warm?
I thought it would be a little bit warmer.
Okay.
It's not cold at all, but I was just expecting it to be almost like a hot tub.
And when you went there, did you see other athletes there? Were you like, oh, hey?
Not really, but I've seen some Instagram posts of people going in. I would say it's probably mostly Europeans because we have to come out here a little bit early to get acclimatized and used to the time difference. I don't think a lot of the people that live in the US are here already. Some maybe. So we've checked it out. I'm still not 100% sure like what how the run is not going to be around the lake because the lake is too big. It's too far, I think. And I'm not exactly
So you
sure
think
how
like
to
the
look at it.
pictures like that Barbell Spin put out where it's a run, a swim, or I can't remember which one was first, but basically, where it's around the lake and then just swim across, you think that might not be accurate?
I just that's not so it's a 4 mile total,
Mhm.
and I just think running around that lake is more than 4 miles.
Okay. Well, I think the picture I saw is you basically ran around half of it and then
That
swam
makes sense.
across, or do we even know if the swim is first or the run is first?
Yeah, the run is first and then the swim.
Okay. Yeah, the
So it
picture
might
I
be half of
saw,
it.
someone
That makes
drew a
sense.
line around half of it and then you swam
Ah,
back to the starting line. Like you start
that exactly. That makes sense to me. Yeah, that's also what we have been thinking, and I think that's actually pretty accurate.
likely. And then how's the terrain look, the ground? Is it paved? Is it a paved trail
Yeah,
or is it loose gravel or
it's just pavement, pretty white. So there's definitely like if you run faster than somebody, there's definitely like an easy option to go past them. And I haven't seen any snakes.
Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah, I haven't seen any snakes, and I'm praying that I won't see any copperheads.
Yeah, I would guess, and especially in the morning, if you guys do go out there like at 6 or 7, I mean,
Yeah,
that's when they're doing their thing.
yeah. How? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm.
Do they have signs there? Like, you know how, like, you'll
Yeah,
go to a park and they'll have a plaque and they're like, "These are the wildlife," and there's, like, a rattlesnake and a bird and, like
yeah,
do they
yeah,
have that there? Did you see
yeah. They
that?
have that. They have that, and that scares the shit out of me because we don't have there. Nothing lives in Iceland, not even a fly, or like yeah, some flies, but you know what I mean. It's like there's no snakes or
Hey,
spiders or anything that bites you and kills you. Nothing venomous.
when
So,
when I went there to film with Annie, I was way into bugs, and I remember, spending a day, like, walking around looking for bugs. There were, like, no bugs. I saw, like,
yeah,
2 bugs the whole time I was there.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's harsh conditions for sure. And I mean, this summer, the summer hasn't really come. It's mainly been windy and rainy, and average temperature probably like 55 or something. Um, so that's
So
pretty bad.
half. So it's double where you're at.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's insane.
that's hey, do you make sure you go outside every day to kind of acclimate to it?
Yeah, and we try to do most of our sessions now, like pretty early, but it's still gonna be like hot as hell, right? And we did a lifting session like in the afternoon yesterday, maybe at 3 p.m. and it's just oof, it's hot.
Even in a gym?
Yeah, in the gym. Yeah, yeah. There were no like there's no air conditioning, but there are those like huge fans.
Yeah,
And but that doesn't do much. Just like
blows the hot air around.
it blows the hot air around, yeah.
Hey, Bjorgvin, what how does Ice this is a total change of conversation. How does Iceland get its energy? Do you guys have a nuclear reactor, or how you guys use the
No,
waterfalls? How do you guys get your energy there?
yeah, waterfalls, we use those. We got a
Turning
lot of
turbines, like the water hits a turbine and turns it?
yeah, and
Okay.
that's where we get the electricity, and then there's a lot of there's just a lot of water. Um,
Moving water. So that's how it gets its energy, moving water?
yes, but there's also a lot of water in the earth, right? Like underneath. And there's a lot of hot water in Iceland.
Okay.
So electricity bills and hot water bills are pretty low.
So steam. So you guys use steam to push shit
Yes.
around too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Meaning, um, you guys take hot water and run it through your homes to heat your homes?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I had heard that before.
Hmm.
Wow, that's fascinating. So there's a massive network piping system that takes this volcanically heated water and runs it around your country to heat the people?
Yes. A
Wow.
lot. Yeah. There are like few bigger ones like that supply Reykjavik because like most of the population is there, and then there are different ones around the country. Waterfalls are used heavily, or like those dams are used heavily to make electricity, and it's very like self-sufficient. and now it's pretty cheap to own an electric car, for an example. So a lot of people have changed, but then
Hey,
then the government taxes everything, and then you know what I mean. It's like
oh yeah, oh yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully, we're gonna get away from that in this country. Hey, what about electric cars there in the winter? Do they get all jacked up? Because like I hear about that sometimes in the States, like all the Teslas when it gets really cold, the batteries start having issues.
So I actually own a Tesla, and I got it in November, so I got through the whole winter. I have my own charging station at home, and the distances that I am going aren't that great that I you know it the it gets reduced, like how much, like how far you can go, definitely depending on the temperature, but it's definitely enough for me. It really doesn't get like crazy cold. I would say we go like in Celsius, we go to maybe -20, and like
Ooh.
in the US, like like you can get a lot of places here in the US go a little bit further down than that. And I would say like at this point, like it's not been an issue owning an electric car. But if you need to like tow anything, like go somewhere with something that's heavy or something, then they're pretty unreliable for sure.
And you're saying you have your own charging station, meaning when you have it plugged in, it's keeping itself warm.
Yeah. And yeah, it like kind of heats the battery up. And like if you have a garage, obviously you'll just drive in and keep it there over the night so it doesn't like freeze to death.
Do you have any motivation to do a year 12 now that Cole did a year 11?
Yeah, it's been calling me a little.
Yeah.
Um but I mean, I don't see any reason at this point, at least. Like I'm having fun with training, and I'm seeing improvements, and it's just fun being around the guys. And like I'm also just like very fortunate to be still doing it at this point. And I don't see at this point the reason why I shouldn't do the 12th.
Are you tripping on Janikowski at all? On Janikowski? What happened to him?
I, I that was just like a little crazy to me. I think that he was looking very sharp and is looking very sharp.
I mean, he's so good. I mean, he's a perennial top 10. I mean, it doesn't even make sense, right?
No, not at all. I feel very sorry for him. I would have loved to see him qualify and see what he would do at the games. I mean, you can basically give him the first place in that first event, for an example.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know anything that happened to him?
No, nothing that it's like.
He wasn't like, hey, dude, 3 of my toes are broken and my spleen is ruptured. You don't like.
No, not really. Like he might have been feeling like a little bit off on that first day or first event or something. But it's just like how the sport is sometimes. Like sometimes it's just hard to piece it all together, and you might lose momentum in the beginning of the competition, and it might be hard to get it back. And not being in the last heat also plays a big role, because everybody will know your times, and that's a big factor for sure, not being in the last heat, especially at the semifinals where we only got 10 spots to the games from Europe. So
you don't know anything. It's not that you're not telling me like that it's personal, but you don't know
no,
anything.
honestly, like I would definitely tell you if he was sick or something, because
he won the Open.
yeah, and they won the quarterfinals as well.
Yeah, that's this is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, this is nuts.
And
I mean, we
then
were training in Iceland, and like he was beating me before the semis.
so you saw him. He looked amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took 13th. He only had one like a good event, the last event.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's like it's hard to say, but he will come back with revenge next year. That's for sure. Even for the Rogue, like I really hope that he makes it to Rogue Invitationals and shows us what he's capable of.
And he's only 29, and he's been around forever. Did he go to the games before you?
No, same time, 2014.
2014.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that is pretty crazy.
All right,
So,
dude.
yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'll try not to abuse your phone number.
Well, try not to. Otherwise, I'll probably change it next month, so you can do it for another 4 weeks.
I understand. Hey, do you still have the same girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's awesome. Great stability in your life. Good
Yes.
job.
Thank you.
How long have you been with her?
4 years, 4.5 years.
Oh, congratulations. That's cool. Is she there?
No.
No.
She's studying dentistry, and she's working now during the summer a lot. And it's just like quite the hassle to come out here from Iceland. It's expensive.
Yeah, it's probably killing her though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, she probably wants to be there.
Yeah, she really wants to be here, and she wants summer. Like every Icelander right now, we just want summer and sun. But we're very quick at, I really want to. I'm really excited about going back home because like this heat is nothing to be. You can't hang around outside, right? It's just too warm.
Yeah, you could just tell her how shitty it is. Hey, you're
That's what I'm saying.
you're
It's
missing nothing.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you're missing nothing. Like, yeah, I'll get caught at the games, and I'll come back crying.
All right, brother. I'll see you in a week.
See you in a week.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Björgvin Carl Goodmanson. With the greatest agent in the space, Snorri. Does Snorri have a last name? I'll just call him Snorri. Thank you, Snorri. God, it's hard to get BKG. It's hard for me to get BKG. Amazing. Sean M., you're missing nothing. It's so warm and sunny here. That's the thing. When I was a kid, 105 was nothing. I'd have been outside loving that stuff. He's the man. I agree. What a cool dude. JJ, Sevon, be careful posting dead animals you killed. There are hunting seasons. What you did is technically illegal. If someone hated you, they could call wildlife officer on your ass. Be careful. Those are, I looked it up on Google. Those are ground squirrels, and there's no hunting season on them. I appreciate it, though. Thank you. I checked. I asked Dave before we shot the animal. I was like, hey, are you sure we're allowed to do this? He said, yeah. And then I Googled it anyway. But thank you. You should have seen how many squirrels there were, by the way. It was like, it was nuts. Squirrels don't have seasons. I guess there's one kind, I guess like tree squirrels and flying squirrels. Some other squirrels have seasons. I saw, but those ground squirrels were fair game. I fucked up. We're gonna eat the squirrels, and my son wanted to save the tail, so I came home and I watched a YouTube video on how to save the tail, and I fucked it all up. So, okay, I wanted to. There was a very thoughtful comment. I wanted to read to you guys here. This is from Taylor Schultz. Sevon, this is in reference to yesterday. I was talking to Andrew Hiller about the pride flag, which I think has been completely stolen from the gay community. And I grew up in the Bay Area. There were pride flags always everywhere. The pride flag was to denote a place where basically gay people could congregate and hit on each other, right? So you would basically see it. You would see it at the pride parades. You would see it in front of bars. You would see it, maybe up on someone's house in San Francisco. But there were like certain neighborhoods, like the Castro and Polk Street, and those were all the spots. And And it was always a good time wherever those flags were. You know, it was a party. Or like I would when I was in LA, I lived in LA one summer, and there was this spot in Hollywood, and all the bars had the gay flags, and it denoted your sexual preference. That's what that flag denoted, 100%. And then recently, in like I don't know, in the last 5 years, you see the flag everywhere in California. Every Starbucks, people's houses, streets, preschools, elementary schools, the recycling center. You see this flag denoting people's sexual preference everywhere. And the whole cool thing about it, right, is if you saw it at a bar, you know that was a gay bar. And so if there was someone there who for some reason didn't want to, like, you knew that, okay, you could go in that bar and guys could hit on guys in there. And a matter of fact, to be honest with you, in the dozen gay bars I've been into in my life, I can't ever remember seeing more than 1% of the population in there being women. It was always men. And to tell you the truth, I always assumed if I saw women in there, they were straight. But I don't know, maybe because I'm just an asshole, or maybe because I'm smart, or maybe because I'm nice, or maybe because I'm stupid, whatever. But I just assumed. And so, like if you saw a flag on a ship, on an oil tanker, and it tells you which country it's from, it denotes the country, and that's it. That's what the flags denoted. And so, and then if you saw it like in, if you when we pledge allegiance in school, and you looked at the flag represented the fact our Constitution and our liberties. Like things like freedom of speech, shit like that, and that's why you would pledge an allegiance to that freedom. Why are you so fucking scared? And then there would be retards like this that would say, why are you so scared of a fucking flag, dude? And this is so retarded. And I think we all know from how David comments that he lives in constant fear. And so I'm not surprised that he projects that fear onto me, but there is no fear at all there from the flag. There's it's a fucking piece of cloth. I don't even know what you're saying, but you act like a man who is hyper masculine to the point of you're hiding something. Thank you. Okay, so this comment says, Sevon, it's the sign of a group. Yeah, I understand. Based on their sexual preference. I fully get that. I'm with you. A community nonsense means nothing. If it was a community, nonsense. But anyway, let's say I did go with you and I did say it represented a community. Then the community has been diluted so much now by all of the lines and stripes and stuff that it means, embracing mental illness as normalcy, being trans, that it's become irrelevant. It would be like if it was an Earth flag. Sevon, it's a sign of a group, a community. Gay people live our entire lives in gay communities. I don't even know what that means, but okay. The flag signifies our tribe. Yeah, based on your sexual preference. Look, you're not saying anything yet, but okay, I get it. Let's keep going. The various stripes represent the other minority groups. Irrelevant that it's a minority group. Represent the other groups that folks. That's just a pleading to some sort of victim mentality. Like we know what you're doing there, but that's okay. I'm fine with it still so far, but I'm just trying to let you see what you're doing. The various stripes represent other minority groups that folks within our community that folks face multiple layers of discrimination. Listen, once again, irrelevant because everyone is facing discrimination. Everyone is facing discrimination, and there's never been a time in my 52 years that a group has faced more outwardly discrimination than blue-eyed white males ever. So, and you don't have a stripe on there for them. But the interesting thing is the part that I want to thank you for is I didn't realize that. What you're saying is that black stripe on there, Taylor, is for gay black people, not all black people. I didn't realize that. So I appreciate that. You're saying groups and folks within our community. So everyone that flag represents, once again, you're reiterating my point, is based on their sexual preference relative to their own genitalia. Okay. But let me tell you where the flag has gone wrong. Trans has nothing to do with sexual preference. Whose genitalia you want in their mouth. It has to do with what you want to do with your own genitalia, your confusion around your own genitalia. And let me tell you something. What's the sad part about trans people is they're going to chase something, and they'll all tell you this, that they're never going to get. So they're embarked on a failed mission, which is okay. A lot of us are embarked on failed missions. You know, we talked about that with Lexi Neely yesterday. No matter what, she's never going to get fulfillment, no matter, even if you win the games. You're not going to get fulfillment from it, but it's still okay to chase it, hoping to get fulfillment. The difference between chasing that and chasing something internally that needs to be dealt with internally, externally, is the ramifications and the cost for it. So for Lexi, the cost is working out hard and doing CrossFit. The cost for changing your sex is brutal and horrific, and not one person will tell you different. There's no one who's like, holy shit, that was awesome getting my tits and my penis chopped off. There's no one. And being on all the drugs and being stuck to taking them your whole life, and it fucking up your immune system and shortening the length of your life, it becomes a fucking nightmare. And so you're supporting something instead of explaining to people what's really going on, like the psychological. It's nothing different that everyone goes through. Everyone's looking for fulfillment. But to start having surgeries to go through fulfillment, hey man, the same thing is with the fake tits and the fucked up lips and the weird eyes and all that shit. I'm not saying trans are unique in that fucking bizarre behavior of going under the knife to get fulfillment. I was actually thinking about it the other day. Think of how tormented these women are who like wear wigs and have all of this shit done to their face. How do they have any intimacy with anyone? Because they have to come home at night and that shit has to come off. And how do they, they only feel like they never feel whole around another person. They never just stand naked in the shower facing their mate, completely free from the fucking layers and layers of masks. But once you embark on that journey of chopping off your penis, you don't even have the option. Now you have to accept the fact of what you really did, what you did to yourself. Johnny Hayes, who really gives a fuck? Do what you want. We're all going to die someday, and then none of it will matter. To some extent, you're absolutely right. But if you can enjoy, you can have a life with peace. But also, there's certain journeys that you embark on that you can't go back on. So you chop the penis off a 12-year-old boy, or you give a 12-year-old boy hormone blockers, and to say who really gives a fuck, I don't know. That doesn't sit well with me. My job as a parent is to keep doors open as long as I can for my child. So when hopefully they reach a point where they get a modicum of consciousness and they're not twitching around like a fly like the rest of the people in the Matrix, that they could fucking make a conscious decision and choose a path that they want, because I've given them the tools to be capable of choosing which door to go through and have the skills to go through it. I have a Rainbow CEO shirt. Rainbow Plus. The various stripes are, for a long time, it wasn't safe to be feminine or gay in public. And now, for a long time, it's not safe to fucking be black in public in Chicago around other black people. Like, okay. You're just giving me like emotional appeal. I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do with this. And businesses use the gay pride flag to designate the space as safe place for people to be themselves. That flag is not doing that. You think that flag is helping those people be themselves? You think that the toy store in my neighborhood that has the your sexual preference flag hanging in it makes those people feel like they can be themselves? And what exactly does that mean? And what does that mean for the people? I don't even get what you're saying. Why can't they just be themselves without the flag? It doesn't mean that it's a signal for sex. It 100% is a signal for sexual preference. There's no other way to wrap it. There are so many more layers to the LGBT plus community than sex, and to suggest the opposite is reductive. Man, there's one thing in here that you helped me with. But anyway, I thought it was thoughtful, but most of it, sorry, I call hogwash on. Now listen to this. This part fucking is the part. Sevon and his crew are so much about sexuality. Okay. And gender and queers and trans people. It's honestly exhausting. Every show is a tirade against homosexuals. A tirade against homosexuals. You fucking piece of shit. There's never been a tirade against homosexuals on the show. Not once. Not fucking once. I'll give you the example. That whole shenanigans that went down at the Olympics. That whole shenanigan that went down at the Olympics. I didn't once say anything about that other than there's a guy there who has his fucking testicles hanging out. If you think that that's a tirade against homosexuals, you're a fucking piece of shit. You are the fucking problem. I don't even know if that guy is gay. I don't even really care about that guy. The whole point of that is that the Super Bowl, which I thought was a family show, has a girl rubbing her vagina and smelling her fingers, and the Olympics has a guy front and center with his testicles hanging out. And I even own that, fuck, maybe I'm just old school. I mean, it used to not be cool that Elvis was swinging his hips around, right? But you're bringing your hatred or defensiveness towards gay people to it. Now the trans people have taken an ass pounding on the show, granted, for sure. But you know who's taken more of an ass pounding on the show is people that defend that and are codependents to their mental health issues that ends up getting those people hurt. So you're like peace and love, kumbaya, let trans people do whatever they want, and you're the version of lobotomies of the 1950, which are now illegal. You're for fucking barbaric surgeries on people to help them with their mental health issues. And yeah, I do have an issue with that. Or I don't know if an issue, but I have an opinion on it. I think it's fucking batshit crazy. I think it's I don't really believe in evil, but for being lazy, it's evil. Encouraging people or supporting people to chop off their genitalia is fucking nuts. Absolutely fucking nuts. Giving kids hormone blockers is absolutely nuts. But if you think that I've ever gone on a tirade against gay people, you're out of your fucking mind. This is the gayest show ever. And if you put it in relative context to other people we do go off on, I ass pound Dave harder than I ass pound any fucking gay people. I could give two shits. And the fact that the fucking trans people have glommed onto the fucking gay community is fucking absolutely insane and ridiculous. Jeff Birchfield, true. This show is gay. Thank you. And you're nuts. Relative, and everyone gets made fun of on this show. Everyone. But to say that we go off on tirades on homosexuality, you're a fucking bitch. You are a fucking world-class bitch. Let me tell you what the tirades do. If you want to insist on calling them tirades. The way we talk on this show should make gay people feel free, should make black people feel free. This is a place where everything's fair. You can be honest. You can talk. You can do whatever you want. Oh, I got my cock pump yesterday in the mail. I'm kind of afraid to open the box. Not kind of, I am afraid. This show, the way we talk about being gay or black or white or any of those things, even trans, it should make people feel free. You don't have to. This is the place where you come and you don't have to wear makeup. I feel free as a bird here. Yeah, I pay gay people to be in the chat just to make you feel better. Tirade against gays. You're a fucking douche. You're the problem, man. You have to know that. You're trying to keep everyone in a fucking box. Open it now. I don't know. I want to get the money first. I want to get the sponsorship sealed, and then I'll open it. Thank you, though. I want this. I want this to, and maybe the reason I'm pissed off, I want this to be a place where people can just come and fucking chill, and it's okay. Yeah, equal jokes. Yeah. And then you guys all know my angle. My whole angle is the fucking kids. I got fucking kids. If I didn't have fucking kids, I'd fucking maybe I'd wear makeup on the show and you know, touch the black cock back there more. I had a buddy tell me in college, if I were gay, I sure as fuck wouldn't be with you. And that kind of stung. Not a lot, but it stung a little bit. Stefan, have you been watching women's rugby? No. Love all the Fit Aid cans. It smells like Fit Aid in here. Like it smells like when I walk in my office, it smells like someone's been chewing bubble gum in here. Like if I was a gay person, I would love this show. Where's the QR code for the cock pump? They got to pay. Oh, I need to get money from them. I want money for the cock pump. I want money. Speaking of gay, I thought Hunter was coming on. I was bugging him quite a bit to come on, and then I felt kind of bad. Like, I felt like I was booty calling him. Do you know what I mean? Like I was just calling him on here. Like, I don't know. That's not what I was doing. I didn't feel I was doing that. I felt like he thought maybe I was doing that. So then I didn't want to, I got in my head about it. Do a DI hire and add a gay man to the CrossFit Games update show. We probably, I mean, I don't know how you could be any more gay than Taylor. I'm suspect. I don't even think along those lines. You know, I was talking to Garrett, and this is a while back. I think I told you guys this conversation, and she was like, "Oh, I'm paraphrasing. Maybe if I say anything wrong, she'll tell you this. What I said is bullshit on her show, which is fine. I'm okay if this is made up, but this is how I remember it. I was talking to Garrett, and I was like, she'd done one of the shows on the channel, and then afterwards she was like, "Oh, people are telling me that you're using me because I'm a lesbian." And I go, "No, that's not true. I'm using you because you're black and you're a lesbian." And she started laughing. I'm like, "Look, dude, like, who cares? Like, I don't, of course I fucking am interested in you because you're black and lesbian. I'm interested in Taylor because he's super fit. I'm interested in Pedro because he tells funny jokes. I'm interested in Souza because he helps me run the channel. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, that, like, if you were just a fucking regular dude, I'd have you do my show? No. I ain't interested in no fucking regular dude. If I wanted the numbers to just be massive, I would ask Hiller to do every single one of my shows when I'm out of town. Those shows would be massive. But yeah, do I like you because is there a component of me liking you because you're fucking black and you look the way you do and you're lesbian? Yeah, I fucking love that. It's a fucking trip to me. I'm so interested in it. I'm curious. I don't know. Are the Chicago Bears using Tyson Bagent? Map Girl, what the fuck happened to your name? God. If I've ever told you how wonderful your tits are. I'm interested in glint things because they laugh at my jokes. Yeah, I like someone who laughs at my jokes too. Wait, she's black? Yeah, she's black. She's like albino. Ask her. She's like albino black or something. That's why her shit's so crazy because she's a girl, but people think she's a boy, but she's not a boy. She's like a full-blown girl. She knows she's a fucking girl. She's happy to be a girl, but then she goes in the bathroom and the people like the people are like, "Hey, you can't have boys in here." And it's like the shit's all fucked up for her because there's fucking real boys fucking trying to get into the girls' bathroom playing to be girls. The whole thing is fucked. And she copes with it so well. Oh, wow. I had to change it because I commented on Wildfire YouTube's accidentally with boobs in my name and got reported. No shit. Anyway. I love her. She's one of the few people, if she calls me, I actually answer. Hate answering my phone. I don't really get a lot of calls anyway, though. No one really calls me, so I shouldn't act like people text me. I like it when JR calls me. Oh, I haven't heard from JR after. Damn, yesterday's weekend review with Dave was off the hook. Holy shit. God damn. Name as a kid had to be hard. Built up a thick skin. Oh, Glinton? Garrett? Is Garrett a boy's name or a girl's name? I don't even know. Oh, Seema was on Glinton? No, I didn't see that one. Seema's boobs are the 8th wonder of the world. Jake, you have so many good one-liners, I can't even read them all. Oh shit. What's happened here? Sorry, I'm looking at a text message. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm sent Wad Zombie sent me a text. I'm looking at the pictures he sent me. All right. Victor Hoffer cut his hair. All right. I have a friend who's got these huge tits, but all of a sudden they look different. And I was talking with a friend last night. I was like, did she? We finally, she must have done something to him, like had him pulled up or made bigger or something. Something happened. When am I headed over? Where, to Texas? I go on Monday. By the way, tonight I have Daisy McDonald on. I met her through Australia's Haley Adams. So she comes on tonight at 6 p.m. I want to try to get Annie Thorsdottir or Rich Froning on tomorrow morning. Tomorrow I have a meeting about my God, it's getting down to the wire. Tomorrow I have a meeting about my media access. And then Thursday, Taylor Self and Tanner Shuck are having a debate on the show. What's the best way to train? Oh, Dr. Sean Rocket has a new book out. Oh, I wonder if it's live on Rogue. Sean Rocket Rogue. Susan was telling me about this book. Oh, here it is. Where Does It Hurt? I heard this book is awesome. Sean Rocket will be on after Tanner and Taylor on Thursday. And I guess the way this book works is, can I click on it? The book delves into shoulder mechanics, knee health, hip function, offering insights into common conditions like slap tears, ACL injuries, and arthritis. It also addresses foot, ankle, and shin issues such as Achilles. Anyway, I guess you This is the head. What's this? What are surgeons called who do like surgeries on shoulders and shit? Oh, maybe he has it in here. He graduated from Harvard University playing football and baseball. Earned his medical degree from Tufts University. Oh, orthopedic surgeon. That's what that is. His role as head orthopedic surgeon for CrossFit Games and his contributions to the fitness community. I think he's been like the head doctor as far as I can ever remember for orthopedic injuries at the games forever. He's cool. Very approachable, man. Very approachable. Cool wife, too. Super cool wife. Pretty lady. I think she might be a doctor, too. Anyway, you go to the book and then there's links in there. So like if you have an issue, there's a link in there and then you can watch a video on like on the injury or on the pain and what you should do to fix it and like walks you through like if your shoulder's bothering you, walks you through movements and exercises and talks to you about it. It's kind of like a doctor in a book. Dr. Rocket has got to be the best name in the history of surgeons. That's what everyone at HQ used to call Greg's dad too, Dr. Rocket, because he was the chief science officer at Hughes Aircraft. He's a rocket scientist. How far down the leaderboard do we need to get before demo team would lose to the games athlete? I'm not sure I understand the question, but if Colton was there at the games, he would definitely finish in the top 20. There's no question. And then Thursday night, we have Maddie Sturd on. That's cool. I wonder why we have her on at night. And then Friday, I'm super excited about this. I've never had this lady on the show before. Perrin's coming on. One of the coaches of Training Think Tank, the Asian lady. I've always wanted to meet her, like officially talk to her. So that's going to be cool. And then Friday night, the CrossFit Games update show. Of course, that one's going to be massive. All right. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about. I want to talk about. I guess they knew that the shooter was there for 90 minutes now. You guys seen this? Might as well do a little update on the shooter.
I was about to let the camera roll for 90 minutes before I started talking, but then I thought I'm not the Secret Service, because new leaked messages obtained by the New York Times show that counter-snipers were aware of Thomas Croaks about 90 minutes before Trump was nearly assassinated.
They knew 90 minutes that before he was shot at, that dude was there.
Someone followed our lead and snuck in and parked by our cars, just so you know. I'm just letting you know. He knows you guys are up there. Kid learning around building we are in. I did see him with a rangefinder looking towards the stage.
These are text messages between the Secret Service and the police. This is crazy.
Your information, if you want to notify Secret Service snipers to look out. There is a kid with a rangefinder looking towards the stage. Would you do something about it?
It's fucking nuts. I wonder how much of that's going to get uncovered. I'm so tired of people saying that it was a 20-year-old kid and they're incapable, though. It's like, geez Louise. All right. Oh shit! I gotta go. I think I gotta take. Oh no, not till 9:30. Okay, here we go. This one's interesting too because this one's fascinating. I think this is Thomas Massey. He's so good. Okay, here we go. Listen to this. This is regarding hush money that Congress pays out to people to settle lawsuits.
Congress has paid over $17 million in hush money for sexual misconduct inside of the offices in these buildings. And what's more is that was taxpayer money, right? The allegation is that President Trump paid $130,000 of his own money. But here in Congress, there may be some on this dais.
Did you know that that's what happened to Trump? He settled out of court with the porn star girl, the stripper, the prostitute. She's one of those things, and he paid her $130,000 to not talk about whatever, whether they had done something or not. He's like, here's 130 grand, sign this piece of paper, don't say anything. And then he's a felon because he paid with his own money and he didn't pay with campaign money. I guess when you pay someone to shut the fuck up so they don't damage your campaign, you have to pay out of campaign money, and he paid out of his own money. And I guess the theory is if you paid out of campaign money, it would turn into a news story because people would know. And so they're accusing him of hiding. I don't know. But anyway, he took it out of the wrong bank account. He paid for it himself. This is money. This $17 million is money that Congress has paid to shut bitches up. I assume it's bitches because, dudes are just, women don't do that shit. It's got to be just fucking slimy dudes, right? And, or they could have paid dudes too, because I'm sure there's a ton of gay dudes in Congress too, fucking like on sexual hyperdrive. And this is just crazy, but we don't know where that money goes. It's just fucking nuts.
I mean, I'm for turning loose all of these records. Who in here has had the taxpayer pay for their sexual misconduct charges, the hush money? I bet there's some over there. There may be some over here. I don't know, but I do know it's taxpayer money. And
he does know. He does know. They all know. He knows. They all know.
I do know not a single penny of it has been turned in as a campaign finance expense. Is the FEC going to investigate the $17 million that the Congress has paid to settle, behind closed doors, these sexual misconduct allegations? Congress has paid over 17.
I pulled down that whole interview and watched it yesterday. It's 6 minutes long. It's so good. It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, Clinton paid the Paula lady off. That was a lot of money, though. I think that was like close to $1 million. And I think he paid that with his campaign money. Like, I think he did that right. How did a 20-year-old get on that roof? Well, you can tell a 20-year-old to do anything, and he's a male, and he's in his peak shape, and he's easily influenced, and he did it. Like, I would be surprised if it was a 45-year-old. Like, what are you doing at 45 doing that? Please, Mr. Chapman, you in the back, go ahead. Ask about wall balls. Tell you about the balls that I bounce off your chin. Simple, they helped him up. Mm-hmm. This one was interesting. We didn't talk about this. Let's talk about this just for a second. So you guys hear about the Chinese and Russian aircraft flying off the coast of Alaska? World News, the Russian Ministry of Defense has released footage today showing a joint air patrol with China that was conducted off the coast of Aleutian Islands in Alaska. The patrol took place yesterday, featured 2 Tu-95M Bear strategic bombers from Russia and 2 H-6K Badger strategic bombers from China. When approaching Alaska, the video shows 2 U.S. F-16s and F-35s, 2 CF-18s from the Royal Canadian Air Force intercepting the bombers. At some point, Russian fighters jets also escorted the aircraft. This comes roughly 2 days after Russian jets intercepted 2 B-52 strategic bombers flying near Russia's maritime border with Finland. And here's the thing, that's the part that's never reported in the news. We had 2 B-52 strategic bombers flying near their maritime border with Finland. Russia claimed they ordered the B-52s to change course when operating in international airspace, a claim the U.S. has refuted. The B-52s ultimately made their way to Romania, marking the first time B-52 bombers have landed in the country. So the U.S. did something so unique and odd with Russia that they ended up having to land in a place where they've never landed before. I mean, that's an important part of the story, as opposed to like everywhere I read it, or saw it on TV, all they talked about is what China and Russia did to us. Like, listen, you fly your big fucking plane over by our house, they'll fly their plane over by my house, your house, their house. Dude, my point is, is that people my wife watched my whole tirade about how people are saying that how did a 20-year-old do this? And then right after that video, Joe Rogan comes on and says, how did a 20-year-old do this? And my point is there's nobody more capable on planet Earth in aggregate than a 20-year-old man. A man between the age of 18 and 23 is perfect for brainwashing and doing any physical activity. They're dumb, strong, capable, great eyesight, want to follow orders. And so people keep saying, how did a 20-year-old do this by himself? It's like, dude, a dozen 12-year-old boys from Alabama who've been shooting squirrels since they were 5 could have protected the president better than the Secret Service did. Facts. You could have taken 15 fucking Navy SEALs and told them, hey, the president's going to be here in 5 minutes. Make sure you protect him. He doesn't get shot. And he wouldn't have got shot that day. And how old are those dudes? They're trained SEALs and they're 22 or 23 years old, and it would have never happened. Or you could have told 12 SEALs, kill the president, and they would have done it. It's just stupid that argument, it keeps being said. It's not relevant to the conversation. Asymmetric ears. He was allowed to do something, Sevon. Nothing magical about it. Well, someone sent me a video yesterday. I haven't watched it yet, but basically the video says that the bullet did not come from the shooter, that it came from somewhere else, and then they killed the shooter. The whole thing was staged to make it so they let this guy shoot. He kills Trump, and then they kill him. Case closed. Hey man, the thing is now that let's say that is true, that there was a different dude who took a shot at Trump and it was an inside job. No, then now that dude should be scared for his life, because now they got to kill that dude too, right? No, Hiller doesn't send me anything. Listen. What a fascinating creature we are as humans. Hiller has certain ideas about what happened there that I think are pretty big picture and abstract, but very confident about. And yet, the discussion of me being attracted to Jeffrey Adler with the vagina makes his skin crawl. Oh, there he is. Hi. Yes, I did. There you go. Mr. Hiller, hi. We are fascinating creatures. Hiller would rather accept the fact that there was that this was more WWE than reality, and yet he has boundaries to his acceptance of things when it comes to me being attracted to Andrea Pinheiro. This is just the multifacets of being a human being. I think you can up that number from 17 to 26. Don't ruin my story. I like it. I like 18 to 23. But you're right. But just don't ruin my story. Kristen Kettler, I'd rather think about Tia with a dick than Jeff with a vagina. I don't know. I don't. Skin didn't crawl. I just never imagined it. Oh, okay. It blew my mind. Oh, that's awesome. I went back and listened to you. I was so proud that's the hardest I've ever seen you laugh. So last night I went back and I never go back and watch my shows, and I showed my wife how hard you laughed. I was so proud. Like, oh my God, this is so awesome how hard Hiller laughed. Dr. Sevon, everyone says 1 scoop of creatine per day. How many should I actually do? Now listen, I have this jar of creatine. I get just generic creatine, and I get generic arginine. Well, I'm going to show you which brand I buy. It's if you just say what's the best creatine, what's the best arginine, it's this one company, and it just comes in a white plastic bag, and it's got like an orange guy on it, and it's just pure whatever. And I take that stuff. No, I don't do arginine anymore. What do I do, Hiller? I do something called citrulline. And I think citrulline is a precursor to arginine and something else. So your body then gets to decide what it needs, whether it wants to make arginine or this other thing. Fuck, I forget. Maybe Jeff will tell us. Citrulline is more effective than arginine. Yeah, what citrulline can be turned into arginine or something else. Anyway, and I, depending on how many times, I just take a teaspoon. I take a teaspoon and like make a huge mound of it just on the tip. I don't even measure it. I don't even know how much it is. And I put that in a pint of water and chug it. And then I do another scoop of each one just on the tip of a teaspoon, but it's piled high. And I put that in a cup and I fill the pint of water up again. And I'll usually like to work out for an hour, be moving for an hour. So then I'll 30 minutes in, as an excuse to take a break, I'll run into the kitchen and drink that second pint of water. Or I usually drink half of the pint. So I start working out. I drink a pint of it with that shit in it. So I don't know what the dose is. I used to take the tiniest little bit of creatine, and then I saw on there that you could take a teaspoon at a time. So I started just putting in shitloads. So there. And then if I work out a second time during the day, I just take more. Yesterday, I went on a 4-mile walk with a 30-pound vest. I was terrified, but it was easy. It was actually easy. It was really easy. And my boys did a 4-pound vest. One of my boys is limping now. It's fucked. My boy that hyperextended his knee, I thought he was all better. I put a 4-pound vest on him yesterday and took him on a 4-mile walk. We got home, and he's limping. Fucking bad dad. My wife's pissed. Not like pissed, but pissed. I'm waiting for all of the people in the space to come out with all their shows, their ranking shows, like all the people who do the rankings and like predictions. And then I think when do the games start? They start on Thursday. I think like on Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday's gonna be crazy. Maybe I'm gonna need Glenton to do the show on Monday. Speaking of gay people, you usually walk with a 20-pound vest? Wow. I've never walked with a vest. I was really tight when I got home. Like I had to stretch out. I was pretty tight. My wires were tight. So Tuesday and Wednesday from my hotel room, I'm going to do just all sorts of shows, like all the prediction shows. The only rankings I watch is Be Friendly. Good. Enjoy. But after everyone's come out with all their shit, then I'll watch all their shit and steal all their shit. And then we'll do, oh, you watch porn with the vest on. Jeez. I take back everything negative I've ever said about you. That's hardcore. So yeah, so that's my plan. Tuesday and Wednesday to just do some like shows with the posse. With what Dave calls the boys club. All right. Oh shit. You want to hear something crazy? Funny story. A friend of mine texted me this. I'm so glad I scrolled up and found this. Let me find this story for you guys. A friend of mine texted me this. You ready? This friend of mine is fucking Mexican. And I'm like really fucking attractive Mexican girl. But fucking Mexican is all get out. Not like doesn't even look Mexican, looks more like indigenous. Like just a very unique looking woman. Very unique. Could have been a fucking model. But ethnic as a motherfucker. Can you say ethnic about Mexicans, or is that just Middle Easterners? What does ethnic mean? When I think of ethnic, I think of Middle Eastern people. Can you say that about ethnic? Ethnicity. No, I just want the quality of fact of belonging to a population or group of subgroup made up of people who share a common cultural background. Maybe it's just a misnomer to use just ethnic like that. This chick has no fucking. This chick's just trippy looking. Like wherever she goes, probably people look at her. Anyway, and she's hot, and she's something south of San Diego. Okay. My sister works at a winery. The other day, she was assaulted by a woman who called her an Israeli and dirty Jew. She punched my sister in the chest multiple times and attempted to throw her to the ground. It was all caught on security cameras. The woman was arrested. And it goes on and on. Now, listen, this is the lady who did that to her at the winery. Joseph Medina, ethnic. You don't feel like you're being lumped up with Middle Eastern people? Okay, fine. You're ethnic too. Fine. No, not like East LA Mexican. No. Like Peruvian Mexican. Like this is like the hottest chick who ever like the hottest Sherpa in the world. She looks like she's just, I can't explain to you how she looks without giving away like maybe who she is. Perfect fucking skin. Okay. The chick who punched her sister, this is her blood sister, same mom and dad. I asked all the questions. I called her. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, South Mexican. Like, yeah, like way south, like Peru South. You know, Argentinian Mexican. They're all Mexican to me, but those just like denote their tribe. They're just versions of Mexican. Right? Isn't that how you guys kind of see them? Like Ecuadorians, it's all versions of Mexicans. All versions of Native American people that were raped by Europeans. Yeah, very exotic looking. This chick's very exotic looking. And she keeps getting hotter as she gets older. You know how that works, those fucking Mexicans. Okay. And a CrossFitter, her body's crazy. Mediator. So this chick that attacks her works at the fucking DOJ, works at the Department of Justice. Her job is she's a community service relations expert at the DOJ, which was established under the Civil Rights Act to address issues of discrimination based on race, color, national origin. during her tenure, this is like her what's that called? This is on this chick's LinkedIn page. She says, during my tenure with the agency, I mediated between community-based organizations, public institutions, school districts, police departments, and county governments to address institutional racism and assist in implementing change. I also worked with a nonprofit organization to develop cross-cultural and anti-bias training material. Dude, you can't even fucking make this shit up. She looks more like Ortega. Just show us a picture of her, Sevon, so we can figure out if she looks like Steven or Ortega. I just can't fucking I can't believe it. Anyway, can you imagine you're Mexican, you get attacked by someone who and fucking attacks you for being a Jew, and then when the police come and arrest her, she works at the Department of Justice and her job's to hold peace between ethnicities. Mexicans are hot, yeah. Everyone who works out is hot. Más o menos. Poor chick. She wasn't even Jewish and she got attacked for being a Jew. That's a tough one. Okay, good. I'm glad I had that in my notes. I'm glad I got to tell that story. That was one I thought for sure was going to slip through the cracks. I love the real stories, just like I knew the person. Oh. Now listen. Here, let's go back to this one more time too. Fuck. This is the guy who chopped off his finger. A hockey star amputates finger so he can play in Paris Olympics. Oh man, I really fucked this story up.
Time Australian field hockey athlete Matthew Dawson went full Ronnie Lott and chopped off the majority of his.
Listen, soon as I hear field hockey, I think tarted Olympics. I just think like I didn't know like I thought like all the other hockeys like field hockey or roller hockey, I thought those were all for like I don't know, like just people who were just like not complete people. You know what I mean? Not like I don't know. So now you see where I got it all mixed up.
Ring finger after injuring it a week before the Olympics.
I didn't have much time to make the decision. I had made the decision and then I called my wife and she just said, "Oh, I don't want you to make a rash decision." But I had all the information that I needed to, I guess, make the decision for not only playing in Paris, but for life after and giving myself the best health.
As you heard in that video, he called his wife and quickly ignored her advice because this is the Olympics we're talking about. Total badass move. And now the coach is forced to play him every minute of every match. And his teammates better not try to come off the field for any injury of any kind unless they want to face the judging eyes of nine-fingered Dawson. The U.S. does not have a men's field hockey team heading to Paris because not a lot of men play field hockey here yet, but they
Men
sure as shit do in Australia. So let's all root for that.
Oh, yeah!
field hockey. That's why the Olympics are stupid. But I heard that that dude, one of those dudes in the opening ceremonies took that guy's remaining finger, the part they cut off, and shoved it up his ass. I don't know if that's true, but I heard that. Joe Biden's out. Crazy. Did you hear the story on that that's going around now? The breaking news on that? Supposedly Obama called Joe and said, "Hey, dude," Joe and Joe's team, and said, "Hey, either Joe steps down or I'm going to have the 25th Amendment implemented." Meaning Obama was going to talk to people in the cabinet. I guess he has the ability to pull strings like that. He has that much influence over Joe's cabinet. So I think the way the 25th Amendment works is the cabinet, if your cabinet turns against you, I think you're fucked. And so he threatened Joe with that and said, "Hey, motherfucker, you either step down gracefully or I'm going to fucking have you booted out by your peeps because I run the Democrats." And Joe said, "Okay." And then you know what he did to fuck Obama back? He fucking endorsed Kamala. And that was the last thing that Barack wanted. That was the last thing Obama wanted. He did not want Kamala endorsed. He wanted it to go to the convention where the delegates would decide, so Obama could then install his person. But Joe was like, nah, motherfucker, you gonna kick me out of being president of the United States? Fine. Merry Christmas. You get Kamala. And that's it. And now here we are. Kamala Harris. Crazy, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Old Kamala. Kamala Harris is running for president as an effective prosecutor, but California's violent crime rate rose 26% during and after she was attorney general, and her policies on crime and migration increased border crossings 500%, 5x, putting vulnerable women and children in grave danger, says Michael Schellenberg. This dude's account is awesome. This guy's a full liberal. Oh, this guy's as liberal as they get. Oh, we suspect automated behavior on your account. God, my account. Every day now. Every day. Look at that. Look at that. Every day I get roughed up a little on the IG. To prevent your account from being temporarily restricted or permanently disabled, ensure that no other tools have access to you. Let me guess. I have to log in again. I was wondering why that came up like that. Crazy. Am I even logged in anymore? Someone sent me a picture of this chick and they said, this is the hottest CrossFitter in the world. You guys want to see her? I don't know if she's a CrossFitter. You guys want to see her? Nikki Shushu too. I think this is an AI. I don't know if this is a real human. What do you guys think? Is this an AI? So that's why people think she's a CrossFitter, because of that photo? Oh, Photoshop is nice, hey? Okay, so her shit's all Photoshop like crazy. Picture is cooked. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Maybe she is a CrossFitter. How are those dimensions possible? All right, maybe she is a CrossFitter. Anyway, someone sent that to me. I wonder if those boobs are real. All right. Enough of that. No. Andrew says no. No to the boobs. Nick B, getting nauseated. Please move on. The beaver was nauseating you, or the Obama story? Bernie Gannon, that's not a CrossFit physique. That's a plastic surgery physique. The thing is there's some fucking trippy people out there, you know, and who knows what's real anymore. Unless she photoshops just every single fucking photo. I gotta close this window. Let's open another window. Oh my goodness, this one is great. Oh, this one is great. I wonder if they're gonna let me play this. This is great. Here's just some honest conversation for you. Here we go.
I'm going to just be real honest with this. She's a black woman.
Yeah, because they skin folk, not Kim folk.
I think it goes back to what somebody was saying, where it's not voting for someone, but majority will vote for somebody else just.
Hold on. Let me mind this out.
I think majority.
Is it only because she a black woman?
Yeah.
Do you not see how that's a bad idea?
Elaborate.
Okay, so we're in 3 proxy wars with some of the most powerful leaders in the world. She failed at the border, in which we have an estimation of 15 to 20 million people illegally into this country. That is literally overtaking and bankrupting Chicago to the tune of over $400 million per year, and they are in a deficit. Oakland is going out of business. San Francisco, ditto. California, $65 billion deficit. New York, they're literally cutting trash, in which they are the rattiest, dirtiest city, and they've taken up resources as far as free healthcare, free hotels to the tune of $600 a day. They're literally taking over your schools. Your taxpayer dollars are going to fund the migrant crisis. She was supposed to be in charge of this. We have a failing economy. Every single day I see people getting on the internet talking about $30 an hour is the new minimum wage, because inflation is fucking out of control. At one point, it was at almost 10%, depending on what city that you were in. She has no policy, no record to stand on. One of the biggest things that she did in her career was lock up more black men than ever before, but we sitting here and vote her in office on identity politics. The very person that she was under as far as the president of the United States of America, she called him racist during a debate, which shows you how fake she is. And the only thing that we can stand on from a policy perspective is whether or not she's black and she's a woman. We did that during the Obama administration, and he didn't do anything for black people. As a matter of fact, y'all complain because the only person that he did, or the only group of people that he really stood for, is the alphabet community, and that's his landmark thing that he's still standing on today. So the only thing that we have to stand on is identity politics. That shit didn't work with Tiffany Henyard in Dayton, Illinois. It didn't work with Karen Bass. It didn't work with Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. It didn't work with Brandon Johnson that then took over her position in Chicago. It didn't work with Andre Dickens in Atlanta. It didn't work with Eric Adams in New York. It doesn't work across the country. Every single Democratic city is a hellhole. And we sitting here talking about identity politics?
I'm going to just be real honest.
Kudos for the girl for just being straight up honest like that, even though it's just fucking everywhere now. The fucking racism is so strong coming from the left. It's absolutely fucking nuts. Just remember this. Just remember this. Every time you listen to Kamala's plan or the plan for the left, ask yourself, where is the growth? It's always take from the cops and give to the homeless. It's take from the rich and give to the poor. There's no stimulus. There's no growth. They're just pushing fucking piles around and rewarding people for bad behavior. That is the entire policy on the left. And if you're cool with that, then that's your team. And then listen to what the right does. The right is all about fucking giving opportunity to fucking invigorate the economy. And what's the fastest way to do that? More energy and cheaper energy. The single fastest and best way to do it. And Trump's going to open the floodgates on energy. Prices are going to fucking, at worst, they're going to stop inflating. And this fear that they're putting in, that if he puts in all sorts of tariffs, that prices are going to skyrocket. The only things that are going to skyrocket are things that are coming from out of the country. So if you're worried about fucking bananas being more expensive coming from Honduras because of tariffs, just go to your farmer's market. The prices aren't going to change there. Everything there is grown locally. Do your part. All right, guys. Love you guys. See you later on today. Daisy McDonald from Australia. Love you guys. Bye-bye.